Welcome to a new deep dive. Today we're pulling back the curtain on the 2025 U.S. Open, set right in the electric heart of New York City. Our mission really is to unpack why this Grand Slam isn't just, another tennis tournament, but it's more like a true cultural phenomenon where tennis meets that unmistakable Broadway energy.
It really is fascinating. And what makes it so intense, I think, and why it's one of the biggest annual sporting events, they expect close to 1 million fans, is the timing. It comes right at the tail end of a really grueling season.
Right.
So players often show up, battered, facing exhaustion just as much as their opponents, And that just amplifies the stakes. It forces strategic shifts, leads to those unexpected upsets sometimes. It's absolutely the final Grand Slam of the year, so the pressure is just maxed out. Rivalries are peaking, players fighting for legacy or maybe redemption. It's a different kind of feeling.
Oh, you really feel that electric atmosphere, especially like Flushing Meadows under the lights, and the roar in Arthur Ashe Stadium during those night matches is just, it's pure goosebumps every time.
Yeah, it is.
But given that intensity, does it ever become maybe too much for the players? Does that Broadway energy, does it ever take away from the tennis itself? Or does it fuel something even more spectacular?
That's a really good question. I mean, look, the noise, the spectacle, it can be overwhelming for some players.
Yeah.
But for others, that's precisely what elevates their game. It feeds the drama, makes every single match feel like a huge event. We've definitely seen players just thrive under that kind of pressure. They use the crowd's energy almost like an amplifier. And others buckle. It's where you see champions forged, or sometimes just these incredible raw human moments, vulnerability and triumph.
So with all that pressure, that atmosphere, who are the key players we should really be watching this year? The ones bringing that high-stakes drama. On the men's side, for instance, is Carlos Alcaraz truly the one to beat defending his title? Or do guys like Jannik Sinner or Daniil Medvedev, do they have a real shot at disrupting things? What makes those matchups so interesting tactically?
Well, okay. Alcaraz defending on these fast, hard courts. Seeing him against someone like Jannik Sinner, that's incredibly compelling. Sinner's improved serve, his aggressive baseline game, seems almost perfectly suited for Flushing Meadows, makes him a serious threat.
Yeah.
And then you've got Medvedev, he's like a tactical mastermind, right? Thrives on turning matches into these mental chess games, especially on hard courts.
Right.
So it's not just about who wins. It's this clash of really distinct styles on a very demanding surface. Players have to adapt constantly.
And the women's draw, that just promises to be absolute fireworks. You've got Coco Gauff defending on home soil, no less. Aryna Sabalenka probably hungry for revenge. Iga Swiatek looking incredibly steady.
It's stacked.
But the biggest storyline, maybe of the whole year, has to be Naomi Osaka's return. What makes her comeback such a massive narrative for this U.S. Open?
The women's field is definitely stacked.
Yeah.
And you're right, Osaka's return is the storyline. Beyond just the contenders, her journey back to the sport.
Yeah.
Navigating that immense pressure, the expectations, it resonates really deeply.
It does.
It's a story of resilience, isn't it? And every match she plays, people will be watching not just for the tennis, but for that human story behind it all. Plus, her powerful, aggressive game, when it's firing, it's just tailor-made for these courts, adds another fascinating layer.
That's a great point about the narratives, but let's step outside the courts for a second. When you walk around outside Arthur Ashe, you realize the U.S. Open isn't just tennis. It feels like a full-blown festival of tennis culture. What makes that whole off-court experience so unique and kind of integral to the event?
Oh, absolutely. It's way more than just stadium food, right? It's like a curated culinary thing. You'll find pop-ups from Michelin-starred chefs right next to local Queens favorites, gourmet lobster rolls, authentic tacos, everything.
Wow.
And then there's art installations, live music stages. It really is like New York in a tennis frame. That level of off-court sophistication, you don't really see that anywhere else in tennis. It brings in a different crowd, broadens the appeal. Honestly, you could almost forget there's tennis happening and still have an amazing time.
Exactly. And that whole comprehensive experience, that's what makes those famous night matches more than just games. They feel like proper events. Packed with lights, drama, noise, those incredible 5-set comebacks. I remember the Djokovic-Federer semi in 2011. People said the crowd was louder than a Knicks playoff game. And anyone who's been to MSG knows that's saying something. You could feel the roar, vibrating through you. That's very New York. That's the U.S. Open.
That's a perfect example, yeah. And what truly defines it, too, I think, is the sheer diversity. Not just the players, from every corner of the globe, but the fans too. It's like a world championship with a borough soul.
I like that, borough soul.
Yeah. You see fans from everywhere, but the Queens, locals, they're just as much a part of it. Selling local food, cheering with that distinct New York swagger. It makes you feel incredibly plugged in. Whether you're actually there in Queens or just streaming from halfway across the world, you feel it.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening? The U.S. Open really stands out because it's this singular blend, isn't it? Athletic intensity, vibrant urban culture. It's an event that makes you feel part of something global, but also profoundly local all at the same time.
Definitely.
And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other events out there manage to capture such a distinct spirit, connect with so many people on such a visceral level? Well, that's something to maybe ponder until our next deep dive.